Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of Mark. Today we begin looking at Mark chapter 6. Now the first part of this chapter details the time when Jesus returns to his hometown, which we know is Nazareth. And notice what happens when he comes home again. Now Jesus left there, that's where he had been before in Capernaum, and he went to his hometown, that's Nazareth. He was accompanied by his disciples. When the Sabbath came, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many who heard him were amazed. This is very similar to what Jesus does in other places. That is, he goes to the synagogue on the Sabbath for their regular coming together for worship, and he teaches them. And as in other places, they are amazed at the authority he has. We've already seen this clearly in Mark. He teaches with authority. He proclaims the kingdom of God with authority. He heals the sick with authority. He drives out demons from those who are possessed with authority. And so everyone's always amazed. And in his hometown, they are amazed. But there's a different context to their amazement because they know him. How can he do all these things when we know him so well? Notice what they say. Where did this man get these things? They asked. Where did he get all this wisdom? Where did he get this authority? Where did he get this power? We know this man. He grew up with us. He's one of us. So where does he get all these things? What's this wisdom that's been given to him? What are these remarkable miracles he is performing? Isn't this the carpenter? Of course, remember that Joseph was a carpenter, a builder, and Jesus had obviously followed in that trade until he began his ministry. Isn't this the carpenter? How can a carpenter do these kind of things? Isn't this Mary's son? Now notice Joseph is not mentioned here, just Mary's son. So we assume from this that by this time Joseph has died. That's an assumption, I know, but the Bible makes no record of Joseph or no mention of Joseph after Jesus is grown. So we assume that before Jesus reached adulthood, that Joseph had died. Because to say, isn't this Mary's son? And isn't he the brother of James and Joseph and Judas and Simon? Aren't his sisters here with us? So they know the whole family. They know the brothers of Jesus, his siblings. They know his sisters. They know his mother. They know him. How can someone whom we know so well, who grew up in our little town, be doing the kind of things he's doing? And they took offense at him. They did not receive him as a prophet. They did not receive him as a teacher. They did not receive him as someone sent from God. They certainly didn't recognize him as the Messiah. They took offense because he was doing these things that they couldn't deny he was doing them. But he's one of us, so how can he be special? So they took offense at him. And Jesus said to them, a prophet is not without honor except in his own town, among his relatives, and in his own home. It's sort of a parable type of saying. You know, a prophet is not given honor in his hometown. Everybody knows him, so they assume he can't really be a prophet. That's how you're treating me. And then maybe the saddest part of this paragraph is verse 5. It says, he, that is Jesus, could not do any miracles there, except lay his hands on a few sick people and heal them. And he was amazed at their lack of faith. And so even Jesus couldn't do extraordinary things in Nazareth because of their unbelief, their poverty of faith, their lack of believing. And that kept the miracles afloat. Now, some things did happen. It says a few sick people were healed, yes, but the spectacular miracles, the extraordinary things that were happening in other places did not happen in Nazareth because they just couldn't bring themselves to believe. And the reason they could not bring themselves to believe is because he is one of us. So how can he possibly be special? So Jesus went around from village to village teaching. He goes to other villages where they will receive him. He calls the 12 to him. That's the 12 apostles. And he begins to send them out 2 by 2. And he gives them authority over impure spirits. So as his ministry grows and expands, now he's ready to begin sending out the 12 apostles in pairs, 2 by 2. And they go out to expand the ministry. They go under his authority. He gives them authority over evil spirits. to drive out as he has done. He gives them authority over sickness to heal as he has done. He gives them authority in his name to proclaim the gospel. So they are going in his name to further the ministry. So see the expanding ministry. It's not only where Jesus can reach now, but also where his disciples can reach. Just growing, expanding, developing ministry. Now, in tomorrow's session, we're going to look at some of the instructions he gives them as they go out 2 by 2, and that's very important. So join us next time for our 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of Mark.